Hi, Jim here with my thoughts for today. And today we'll be talking about our friends, the Democrats, again, because I did a vlog just very recently sharing advice from Margaret Thatcher on what our friends on the left needed to do if they ever wanted to win an election or to make it easier to win an election. Because as I said then, there's always a possibility. There's a reason why the Republicans are called the stupid party, because they tend to do stupid things. Though, as you'll see today, the Democrats seem to be working overtime to seize that title of the stupid party from the Republicans. But for now, I think we could still call the Republicans the stupid party. And being the stupid party, they could do something stupid that would allow a Democrat presidential candidate, no matter how bad, to win. But generally, if the Democrats want to win, the advice I had shared, which came from Margaret Thatcher, former Prime Minister of England, was first win the argument, then win the election. But there's something else they have to do. And, well, there are actually probably several things they need to do. As I said in that earlier vlog, I said I very likely would end up doing additional vlogs, giving additional advice, and lo and behold, because that's what I'm going to do today. And they have a little problem, the Democrats, besides winning elections, is two recent news events, two events that happened just very recently that shows the trouble that the Democrats are having, and it exemplifies something really stupid they do. Now, they were complaining, just attacking Trump and saying, well, the price of eggs are so high, and they're way going up, and you said you would bring them down, and why didn't you bring them down, yada, yada, yada. Never mind that the price of eggs went up during the Biden administration. And a lot of it, in fairness to Biden, of course, part of it was a $2 trillion spending plan that the Democrats enacted. But another reason was the bird flu. When you have the bird flu, if one of your birds, one of your chickens gets the bird flu, you got to kill all the chickens, and that's causes it's simple supply and demand. But it was reported only yesterday, which is the day before I'm recording this, 2 days before you're seeing this, that the price of eggs is, guess what, down. How much are they down? $2 a dozen. Down $2 a dozen for, I guess, the gauge they probably use is large eggs. And so $2 a dozen, but the number doesn't matter as much as that the price of eggs today, which are still a little high, though I have to say not as high as I've seen in other places. I paid, for jumbo eggs, I paid about $5.50 a few days ago, but I've heard stories about New York, where I used to live, and I follow events there, of people paying $10, $15 or more for a dozen eggs. I mean, anyways, another reason to be glad I live in Tennessee these days. But as I said, less important than the number is that the price of eggs right now is lower than it was during the Biden administration. So that's one example I'm giving, that the Democrats, they just hammered Trump on this, the price of eggs. Okay, well, now the price of eggs are down. The second problem that they have is that just this morning, again, the day before you're seeing this, the latest inflation figures came out. The stock market, as I'm recording this, is, what is it? Well, the S&P is up about a little less than 40 points. The point is that the inflation figures, because they were hammering him on this too, what are you going to do about inflation? Inflation is up. You heard the whole spiel because you hear it over and over. Well, the inflation figures were very good today. Were very good. That's why the market is up so much, but they were very good. And so that is another Democrat attack that failed. And they both exemplify the mistake that Democrats are making. And the main mistake, to put a very short description to it, is that they keep hammering, that they don't understand two things. That number one, what Trump says he's going to do, he will do, and number two, that what he does will work. So you can, get the price of the eggs are so high. Okay, well, you should know before you even say that Trump is going to get the price of eggs down. Inflation is so high, you should know before you even say that, if you're a Democrat, that inflation is going to come down because Trump is going to accomplish all these things. Now, of course, one cannot predict the future, and he may be wrong, but this is the mistake that they make. They should wait to see what happens. They should hammer him on it. They're right. If he fails on anything, they have a right to hammer him on it, but they should do it, I would say, starting, the next election is, November 2028. So I would say no sooner than January or February of 2028. You want to wait until whatever bad stuff has happened, and it's too late for Trump to turn it around. You don't want to make these predictions or hammer him on these things early, because he's got plenty of time. He's got hard to believe he's only been president for a couple of months, and he's got plenty of time to turn everything around. And if they hammer him on it, well, what are you going to do if you're Donald Trump, who is not stupid, despite leading the stupid party, which I say may eventually shift to the Democrats? Because once you hammer him on something, what would he do? What would you do? You'd make that a priority. If they say, yada, 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 you didn't do this, and look at this, well, he's going to make that a priority and focus on that. It's very simple. Oh, you're not going to pass the reconciliation bill, never get it out of the House. Well, it did, okay? And they were talking about now to prevent the government shutdown. Republicans have only one vote in a majority in the House. You see this over and over, that the Republicans, they have only one vote majority. They won't be able to pass this, that, or the other thing. And the House passes this, that, or the other thing. They keep making these predictions that don't work, and they have to wait, like I said, until a few months before the next presidential or wait, I guess, if you're talking about the House, then wait, a few more months until you're into election season for the midterms, and you should wait then to see how things are doing, and before the other side has time to turn it around. That's something I would do. And then I would also, maybe I'll save myself doing another vlog by saying another thing they should do is, when they get closer to the election, if things work, then you have to admit that they don't work. Admit that they do work. And then you have to promise. It was actually a Democrat, Burt Lance, I forgot his position, but he was in the Carter administration, and he's very famous for saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's a very important advice for the Democrats to take when you get to an election season. That you have to admit, you attack Trump on his failures, or the Republicans on their failures, but when something is working, you have to, number one, admit that it's working, and number two, admit that it ain't broken, and then promise that you're not going to fix it. Come up with a better idea to do, as Trump said in his joint address to Congress. The Democrats were hammering about that we needed comprehensive immigration reform. We needed a bill passed that didn't pass the House. Never mind that the Republicans had a bill, H.R. 2, only the second bill they enacted in the House, that would have stopped immigration cold at the border, doing what Trump has done. And Chuck Schumer, the majority leader in the Senate, would not even bring it up for a vote. And instead, they made their own vote, and they made their own, wrote their own law that would have allowed an average of 5,000. What happened that there would be certain measures that would be imposed if unlawful immigration exceeded 5,000. I forget if it was 5,000 a day, or 5,000 a day averaged over a week, or 5,000. Doesn't matter. The point is that Tom Homan, the Department of Homeland, the immigration, or the unlawful immigration czar, hundreds of people were coming over the border. Now it's down to about 98% down. He said a few days ago, the day he was speaking, only 4 unlawful aliens came over the border. And so that's so Democrats, you have to understand that, number one, Trump is doing, well, as he said in that joint address, it looks like you did not need a new law or a law, you just needed a new president, and he was proved on that, and it just made the Democrats look really bad. So if they're smart, which they, as I'm speaking, they don't seem to be, admit, number one, that people want the border closed. They don't want comprehensive immigration reform. They just want the border closed so people who come into the country come in legally so that they can be vetted and so that they can be admitted, as Trump said, on merit. We don't need any more wastebasket emptiers. We need doctors and scientists and engineers and computer experts. Those are the people who have priority, or wealthy people who will put their money in an American bank, benefiting all of us as far as terms of, investment, banks making loans. The more money that banks have, the more loans they can make at better interest rates. So they should admit that the American people want the border closed, and number one, pledge that they won't, it ain't broke. We're not going to fix it, but here is our idea to bring that 98% reduction to a 99% or something like that. Either that or just shut the heck up. I mean, don't stop shooting yourselves in the foot. That's what I'm saying, I guess, is friendly advice, because as a conservative, I'm not a Republican, I'm independent, but as a conservative, my advice to the Democrats is don't take my advice. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. It's up to you. It's I'm not my opposition party's I'm not the Democrat Party's keeper, and I'm not your keeper either. So it's up to you whether you want to subscribe or not to this channel. If you could, that would really be great. Share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it. Comments always welcome in the comment section below the video. But most of all, come back and see me again. I would love to see all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.